Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of Hail to the Geek. I'm Dan, and joining me as always is my podcast partner, my salt to my pepper, my fish to my chips. It's H.
I want fish and chips now. Hello.
Hiya. First of all, before we get started on the news, which we're going to be doing very shortly, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody that listened to the show last week, everybody that shared. We had a really good response, really good numbers, and we were really surprised, to be honest. We'd have been happy with just 5 people tuning in, and way more than that did. So thank you very, very much from the bottom of our hearts.
Thank you.
We will try to make this episode as good as the last one. So we used a little bit of feedback in the last show, and it was a little bit wrestling heavy last week. So what we're going to do is this time we're going to do a bit of news in the world of movies, comic books and wrestling. Then we're going to go through, thanks to the Blu-ray release this week of Avengers Infinity War, we're going to go through a little movie review, go through what we thought of it, the good bits, the bad bits, there wasn't many bad bits, and some possible fan theories going forward in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Then we're going to go on to Hate Shoots, and this week, what are you talking about this week?
This week we're going to talk about cheating in sports.
Cheating in sports, that's something that really annoys Hannah. Okay, so the news, that's probably the best place to start. And the first thing we're going to talk about is actually about the DC universe. So it's a bit of a confusing one, this one. The Joker movie that's being released on the 4th of October 2019. This week they've announced that Alec Baldwin is going to play James Wayne. And who is James Wayne? That is Thomas Wayne, not James Wayne. That's why you didn't know who it was.
Yeah, I was like, I know James Bond.
Yeah, who's Thomas Wayne?
So Thomas Wayne is Daddy Wayne.
Daddy Wayne.
Daddy Wayne.
These young people.
Not Daddy Kane.
Okay, and who is that to the layperson?
Yeah, so good old Bruce Wayne's old man.
Yeah, so what that probably says is that this film is going to be set quite a bit further back than I actually anticipated in the first place.
Yeah, this is like a prequel, and so no more, hopefully, I am a big DC fan, but no more flashbacks of the pearls hitting the curb and the death of the movie scene and the smoke.
I'm not being funny. If I have to see Batman fall down a hole one more time and then see a massive bat coming towards the camera,
and his parents getting killed one more time.
Yeah, I mean, I did like in it wasn't Suicide, in Batman versus Superman when they did it, and they had the flashback, and they had both Maggie and Negan from The Walking Dead.
I liked that. That was a nice little thing. It's just a bit sad that they're now not in it. But there we go. But we've got a Baldwin. We've
got a Baldwin, and we've also learned, well, this isn't news to most people, but we learned today that Joaquin Phoenix is going to be playing the Joker. That's in reports on IMDb. And also that Robert De Niro's in the film as well.
Yeah, he hasn't got anything underneath his name just yet, as like he hasn't been credited as anything. It's just, we're just hoping that it's not a hoax, because there's been a lot of hoax. There's been photographs of Defoe.
Willem Dafoe, yeah.
Yeah, as him being the Joker, but I think that's just a stinker. It is definitely, how do I say it?
Joaquin Phoenix.
Phoenix.
So yeah, that's the first bit of news. Interesting, and we'll see how that goes.
So that is the first bit of news.
The second one.
Dun, dun, dun. We should have movie music. Second one, for all you GOT fans, Game of Thrones. Here you go, this is my northern accent for you all. You gotta go north of the war, April 2019. Because one of Targaryen's brother, Wolf Scolding in real life, has announced that April 2019 is the big release date for the
8
episodes. It's 5 or 6, isn't it?
Yeah.
Of season 8. So the first half, basically, of season 8. Let's do this. It has been forever. Wait.
Yeah, and it's very exciting, really. I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, we both are. So looking forward to that. Looking forward to the release date. Moving back to movie news now. Tom Hardy has told, has come out this week and said that he's actually signed on to do 3 Venom films. That was done at the 20th Century Fox Awards this week. So that means that potentially this Venom film is not just a one-off. We will talk about Avengers shortly, and it might be something we talk about towards the end, but wouldn't it be great to see him in the Avengers? And I know you're being nerdy about it earlier and saying he's not in the Avengers in the comic books.
You can't just go for it yet.
But we will see. We'll talk about that in a bit.
Yeah.
Because that's potentially something that could happen in the future.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so then the next bit of news, we'll go back to Hannah with this one.
Next bit of news, back to Hannah. So, I was a big Sons of Anarchy fan. Huge. I did totally binge on that. It did not take me long. And I actually had a huge crush on OP. I don't know for any of you that are out there, but good old Ryan Hurst.
I don't know who that is.
He played OP. He's very furry, but he is now officially coming to The Walking Dead. He's going to be in a reoccurring role in the 9th season. So, Walking Dead at the moment, I'm calling it the snoozing dead. I fall in and out of love with The Walking Dead. I need to fall back in love with it. I need to understand. Spoiler alert, but Carl died and I kind of died with him. But we will jump back in. Plus, Michonne is busy in Wakanda right now, so I don't know how she's kind of jumping between parallel universes. But
pretty
we're
extreme.
dealing massively.
Maybe
extreme.
that's what happens after the clip.
Maybe that's half the issue. Yeah. Zombies appear. But that's breaking news. So we've got a Sons of Anarchy star, and he's nice and furry, so that might make me watch it.
Yeah, good one. Right, next, former Doctor Who, Matt Smith, is being cast in a massive role in the latest Star Wars movie, Episode 9. Big news for Matt Smith, really. He's very, very good as Doctor Who. I mean, I'm not a massive Doctor Who fan, and I don't claim to be, but I enjoyed both him and David Tennant as Doctor Who's, kind of gave me half an interest in it. So yeah, Matt Smith, keep an eye out, watch out for that. Love Star Wars. So yeah, looking forward to see what Matt Smith can do.
Fantastic.
So yeah.
There is more.
Oh, there's more. Go on.
There's more news. So, before Wesley Snipes stopped paying his bills or tax,
and did that awful film we watched the other day when he played like the Hangman, wasn't it called?
Hangman or from
it's like
Walker,
a western. It was a western
thing.
Zombie film. Yeah.
He did a fantastic film, which actually is a big, I feel, is a big starting point for the Marvel Universe. People forget about this. Can you remember Blade? For all of you out there, officially, this makes me feel old, 20 years ago, exactly today, Blade made cinemas. How's that sound? And it was actually one of the first R-rated comic book movies.
And so let's set the scene here. It's 1998. You're busy playing with your Tamagotchi and your yo-yo. And that's all I remember about 1998. PlayStation 1 was massive. Spyro was massive. Everything was great. It was a great time. You go to the cinema to go and watch a nice comic book film, which at the time there wasn't much of, to be honest. Comic book films were brand new at that point. Yeah. And then Blade happens. It must have been an absolutely ridiculous thing to go to the cinema and see that. I mean, you kind of had a bit of a thing with it with Deadpool in terms of the R-rated nature, and you're just not used to seeing it. But yeah, brilliant
Very
film.
exciting. I had this. I can remember going to the Blockbuster shop and getting this on tape.
Nice, on VHS, or was it Betamax?
Asking my mum very kindly, "Ma, can we have this?" And her not having a clue what it was and just getting it anyway, regardless of the label. But
so,
parenting.
As a comic book, I don't claim to be the most knowledgeable comic book fan. I love it all, but I don't claim to be most knowledgeable. That would be you. As the comic book connoisseur of the podcast,
I won't go that far. Yeah.
would you say X-Men or Blade is the more important Marvel film? Or comic book film, it doesn't have to be Marvel.
For me, I actually will be more Team Blade. Not that I'm not a mutant fan at all. I loved X-Men. I thought it was fantastic. They're powerful beings. I've always wanted to mutate into something that would steal power or be able to stare at somebody and blow them up on many occasions. However, as it's progressed, massive Hugh Jackman fan, obviously, and that's been fantastic. So the Logan franchise, and that is brilliant. And I actually quite like the newer Logan, so like Old Man Logan. I prefer all that era. But I just feel that now, if I knew what I knew then, I wouldn't have bothered investing so much into the X-Men franchise because it's so messed about with, was a bit too PG for my liking.
Well, it was
a starter gap, wasn't it?
It kind of, you look at it in the 90s, it was all about DC and it was all about Batman. You had three Batman movies come out in the 90s, Batman Forever, I think the original Batman was 98. Was 88, I think. So yeah, so you had Batman Returns, Batman Forever, and Batman and Robin. Let's not talk about Batman and Robin because it's terrible. But Batman was the big comic book movie for DC in that era, and then for Blade to come along and make it cool and something different, I would completely agree. And then X-Men in another turn. Without X-Men, I don't believe you have the MCU now, because it was the biggest movie of the year in terms of how much money it made. And for Marvel, that must have been a real turning point, and it can't be a coincidence that was 2001, I believe X-Men came out. So it can't be a coincidence that within 5 years they started the MCU. Can't be. So yeah,
It can't be a coincidence, no. But
in terms of money,
I think that half the problem was, though, is that Sony jumped on the back of a lot of things, and I think the politics of Sony MCU.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
I think that was the issue.
I'm saying that I know that X-Men is different property. I mean, in terms of they've watched this and gone. Stan Lee, say for example, has seen, right, I've sold this property. They've just made an obscene amount of money, and exactly the same thing happened with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So it's now, hang on a minute, let's jump on the bandwagon. Let's bring out Hulk. See how it does. Let's bring out Iron Man. Oh yeah, there we go. We're on it.
Yeah, they didn't get it right until they gave old Robert Downey Jr. a call.
And I'd agree with that. Okay, so that's pretty much the news. Is that everything?
I think there's one more.
Oh, there's one more.
Is there one more? No, it's two more.
Okay.
Do you want me to read these out?
Go ahead.
All right then. Here we go. So at the Power of Young Hollywood event, which was Tuesday just gone, Ezra Miller has confirmed that the Flash movies.
Oh yeah.
They are going ahead. They are happening.
Okay, so yeah, there was some rumours about this because of the amount of DC movies coming out in the near future that the Flash movie might not happen. So that's good to know that it is going to carry on.
And it's the same kid from Justice League.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is nice because I actually quite liked him as a Flash. Just help.
Yeah, he was good. He was good.
He was funny.
Bit confusing really because there's also a Flash on TV, and to have a TV series going at the same time as there's a movie is a bit confusing. But that's fine.
But we just won't talk about that right now. Let's not ruin it. And last but not least, sadly, but we all kind of know this anyway, Guardians Volume 3 is very much delayed. Not just because Thanos clicked his fingers, but also in real life, but there's a lack of director, which
thanks to James Gunn,
massively go into.
No, we won't go into that because that's not our place to mention that. But he said some pretty horrible things on Twitter a while ago, and now he's being punished for them. Shame, because James Gunn is a very, very talented director.
Yeah.
But you can't do that. So yeah, the less said about the better. But unfortunately, it's pushed back indefinitely. Is that right?
Yeah.
Sad times.
Sad times.
So that's the news.
I was looking forward to the to downloading the Spotify. Volume 3.
We'll be out eventually. Yeah, the music is always good. Great soundtrack. Okay, so we've gone from the Guardians of the Galaxy, and we're going to come back to them in a moment.
Oh yeah.
So this week's main feature is going to be celebrating the release of the Blu-ray of Avengers: Infinity War. It's what everyone has been waiting for a long time. It came out now back at the early end of this year in March, I believe, and it was the biggest movie of the year. It was actually the fourth highest grossing film of all time. Fourth of all time. That is absolutely
massive,
ridiculous.
Huge.
And what we're going to do is we're going to go through it. We're going to do a review, so there will be spoilers for both this and Ant-Man. So if you haven't seen Ant-Man, there will be spoilers for both. So please don't get annoyed and go, oh, you didn't say so. Spoiler alert officially. If you haven't seen the film, turn off now. Okay, we've given them the chance to turn off.
They tried.
So let's start this review then. The film starts and it continues on straight away from Ragnarok, Thor Ragnarok. And it's like a refugee, easy for me to say ship. And you see straight away you've got Thanos attacking and what are his crew called? The Dark something or the Black Order. That's the one. I will be referring to H the whole way through this because she knows more about this than I do. His four minions who are actually, you don't like the CG on one of them, but we'll get to that later on.
We'll about that in a minute.
His four minions are attacking and basically killing everyone on the ship. First off the bat, straight away, I was a bit confused in the cinema in terms of that they have killed the whole ship.
Yeah.
The only surviving people at the moment are Idris Elba's character,